You're on the record.
I would like to call the March 25, 2026 Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting to order. If you are able, please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have the roll call, please?
Thank you. Commissioner Woodard is absent. Vice Chair Dothett.
Here.
Chair Keaton.
Here.
Commissioner Askin.
Present.
Commissioner Ursley.
Present.
Commissioner Kraus is absent. Commissioner Fikes.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Number 3, approval of the agenda and consent agenda. All items with an asterisk. Okay. We don't have this. Is there a motion to approve the agenda and consent agenda with the laydown?
Move to approve the agenda and the consent agenda.
Second.
Thank you.
I would like to request a amendment to that for a spelling error.
Yes, go ahead.
Under I reports, line number 3, item number 3, to change the spelling on Kenai to Kenai instead of Kenia.
Do I hear a motion? Or a second?
I second.
Thank you. And can we ask, and somebody want to ask for unanimous consent?
I request unanimous consent on the approval of the agenda as amended.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, the motion passes. So could the clerk please read the consent agenda items into the record?
Thank you. The approval of minutes, regular meeting of March 11th, 2026, and that is your consent agenda.
Thank you. Are there any public comments on any of the consent agenda items just read by the clerk? Is there anybody online?
There's nobody online.
Thank you. Can we, oh, did we do unanimous consent? You did to make the amendment, so this is for the actual. Okay. And is there anybody that would like to ask for unanimous consent?
I'll ask for unanimous consent on the original approval of agenda.
In a second?
Second.
Thank you. Hearing, it's, are there any objections? Hearing none, the agenda and consent agenda are approved. And under C, scheduled public comment, we have none, is that correct?
That is correct.
And D, unscheduled public comment, is there anyone from the public wishing to speak to anything that is not on the agenda?
There is nobody online.
Thank you. That brings us to consideration of plats. The first preliminary plat before us tonight is Resolution PZ 2026-07, recommending that preliminary plat Black Gold Estates 2026 vacation be conditionally approved. Is there a motion to approve the resolution PZ 2026-07?
I move to approve Resolution PZ 2026-07, recommending that preliminary plat Black Gold Estates 2026 vacation be conditionally approved.
A second?
Second.
And if I can, I'm going to go ahead and recuse myself at this time and step down since it's directly relates to me.
Thank you. Director Buettner, can we have the staff report, please?
Thank you, Chair Keaton. All right. The city received a preliminary plat from McLean Consulting, Inc. on behalf of the property owner for the vacation of a 60-foot unnamed right-of-way located along the southeastern boundary of Lot 11A, Block 8, Black Gold Estates 2025 replat. The recent acquisition of the Wildwood Drive right-of-way by the city of Kenai from the Kenai Native Association, Inc. renders the unnamed right-of-way unnecessary for the original intended use of access to the Black Gold Estates subdivision. Kenai Municipal Code, Chapter 1410, Subdivision Regulations, states preliminary plats or replats must first be submitted to the city for review and provide recommendation to the Kenai Peninsula Borough Planning Commission. The proposed vacation plat meets preliminary plat requirements and development requirements for the general commercial zoning district. Access to the subject lot is via Wildwood Drive, which is a city-maintained paved road. At approximately 40,729 square feet, proposed lot 11A1 is of adequate size for commercial development to include parking. City water and sewer are available along Wildwood Drive. The Public Works Director, Fire Marshal, and Building Official have reviewed the preliminary plat and have no comments. Staff finds that the preliminary plat meets the following Title 14 Kenai Municipal Code sections and aligns with the intent of the Kenai Zoning Code. 1, pursuant to KMC 1410-070, subdivision design standards, the preliminary plat for replat, subject to the listed conditions, provides utility easements, provides a satisfactory and desirable building site, and the accessible water and wastewater systems are subject to the regulatory requirements of the City of Kenai Public Works Department. Pursuant to KMC 1410-80, minimum improvement required, the preliminary plat is within a subdivision that has dedicated rights-of-way and determined acceptable access, subject to the listed conditions. Therefore, an installation agreement is not required. Pursuant to KMC 1424-010, minimum lot area requirements, the preliminary plat meets city standards for commercial development, including parking. Pursuant to KMC 1424-020, general requirements, the preliminary plat meets city standards for minimum lot width/depth and access/utility easements. Compliance with the maximum lot coverage, maximum height, and setbacks will be reviewed during the building permit review. Staff finds that the proposed preliminary plat for Black Gold Estates 2026 vacation to vacate a 60-foot right-of-way on Lot 11A, Block 8, Black Gold Estates 2026 replat meets the general standards for Kenai Municipal Code, Chapter 1410 Subdivision Regulations, and Chapter 1424 Development Requirements Table, and hereby recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission recommends approval of resolution number PZ 202607 to the Kenai Peninsula Borough, subject to the following conditions. And I apologize, I misspoke, it's Black Gold Estates 2025 replat. But the conditions are, number 1, further development of the property will conform to all federal, state of Alaska, and local regulations. 2, the Kenai City Council must declare the 60-foot right-of-way not needed for a public purpose and approve the vacation of the right-of-way as shown on the preliminary plat. 3, a plat note added to the final plat to prohibit access from Windflower Drive to avoid double frontage in accordance with KMC 1410-070E2. That is my report.
Thank you. Are there any remote attendees wishing to speak?
There's nobody online.
Thank you. Does anybody want to ask the applicant questions? Okay. Does anybody want to ask for unanimous consent?
Through the
Okay.
chair,
Could you please call the roll?
thank you. Commissioner Askin,
No.
Chair Keaton,
No.
Commissioner Ursley,
Yes.
Commissioner Fikes.
Yes.
We have 2 commissioners absent. I'm going to ask to defer to the planning director.
Through the chair, for the, because with only 4 voting members, we would have, we would not have a majority. It would just be requested for the record to, for the vote, for the ones voting no, if you could state findings, for any findings that you may have on the record.
I'll go ahead and start. I'm just curious what's changed from this that we're voting on to the previous that we voted on?
Through the chair, last year when we heard the original replat, which was 4 lots that got merged into one, at that time, there was not an agreement between the city and the Kenai Native Association. And so the city at that time did not feel, there was still potentially a public purpose for this right-of-way. Whereas now that agreement has been secured. And so now Wildwood Drive is already 120-foot right-of-way, and this is an additional 60 feet to the north. So the city at this time, now that we have the agreement, feels that there is not a public purpose for that right-of-way, or they, I will put it this way, because council has not officially said that, but there is a much, much better chance now because of that agreement that this right-of-way is no longer needed for a public purpose. And that is the main change. That's why it was brought back separately. And that's why the merging of the lots was allowed last year, but the vacation was denied. And that was simply because they wanted to have an option in case that agreement did not come to pass.
Any questions? Do you want to talk, Alex?
I would dearly love to talk. So this was brought before this commission a while ago and approved. It went before the borough and was approved. It went before the council and was denied by the council for 2 reasons that I was given. One, they wanted to, the staff had said spoke up against it because at that time they still wanted to secure the right-of-way with Canisius. That has now been secured, and staff has told me specifically that they don't have any contestation to this, and they would be fine with that entire road right-of-way being vacated by all the landowners, but they don't want to pay for it. So in accordance with this is like we did with the other vacate, this is the landowner paying for this vacate. This is a 60-foot non-used right-of-way of barren trees to a road that is already being utilized in that 120 feet. For me to have this and every other property owner, this being here means I have to increase 60 feet of driveway to a known needed road. So that's why this is going before this. For me to access that lot, and if you've ever added 60 feet of road right away or a driveway, it's a great expense. It also takes, all the utilities are on the original Wildwood Drive right away. I have to then bring all my water and sewer for this lot, an additional 60 feet before I get to the lot that I can build on to cross over a road right-of-way that staff no longer needs. This original road right-of-way was put in as a frontage road for the military purposes back, I believe, in the 60s, when the property that I own adjacent to this was considered to be a city park. It no longer got developed into a city park, and this lot now that we're in question is also been changed to commercial. So it's a commercial property now. And this access would allow me to access that separate lot without having to have 60 more feet of utilities and 60 more feet of driveway to essentially a lot that is not needed and the city has no interest in per the city staff. They've secured the deal with Canisius to be able to modify, and they're going to be starting to do work on Wildwood, hopefully this year, re-ditching and stuff. And so by me vacating this lot, it allows me to clear the trees so they can ditch properly. Because right now it sits about 4 feet above my property line, or my current property level, and cause huge damming issues in my lot. So that's the other reason I want to be able to clear this right away to make the ditch proper to allow more drainage so I don't have 2-foot lakes sitting there because it's so high, this one little tiny section. And also, if you look back, the city also, back in 2022, already vacated a much larger section of the same road right away. So it's already been precedent once, and now we have the agreement, and that's why I'm coming forward. If you had to pay to have 60 feet of extra driveway, it's a huge expense, not counting the utilities. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars here for essentially before I can even start to develop or get anything to my property line. That's why it's here. So that's where I'm coming from, is for development purposes. I'm not asking for anything special. The other reason that I was given for council was the perception of me being on council at the time asking for this. I am no longer on council, so that perception is gone. So it's the same thing that any other landowner, and all these are the lots along Wildwood would be allowed to do, per city staff. So that's where this came from.
Through the chair, do you recall, did John at RPM's, did he have a similar issue? Did he not vacate some land by his property?
No, not on that side. He rezoned some areas. He was part of that rezoning that included this lot that is now. He may have like a road right away, maybe between a couple of his lots years ago, but I think what he was working on was a rezone most recently. He was part of that rezone where some of the lots where he had the storage unit weren't zoned quite right or something. And so he included that when we did this lot here. But I also own the lots directly across from this are also currently owned by me too. So the lots, it's not like it's changing somebody for the people that are across the street. And it's all now, this whole area is now, as this body did, is now considered commercial and not a residential lot anyway.
Yeah, thank you, that's where I was going.
And through the chair, just for clarification, I think that it's not Kenite that you're working with, but Kenai.
Kenai Native, yes.
Native Association, a village corporation.
Sorry, yes. One of the Ks, sorry.
Mr. Askin?
Okay, a couple questions, yes. That's 9,360 square feet, right? It was originally dedicated as a road, am I correct?
Through the chair, it was held, so when it was originally was platted back, I want to say in the 60s, they did not want to have, there was a lot of, basically from where Wildwood is, where the prison is now, was the base. There was a ditch that went from there all the way to the bluff. And what they did not want to do is have a lot of people putting driveways over that and kind of damming up the ditch. So they wanted this essentially to be a frontage road where we, the city, would control access across, putting in the proper culverts, whatever. That now is not needed because all the water and sewer is piped out of Wildwood. And there's still like ditching that you need on the side of the road, but not, not to the level they were using back in the 60s. And so this development no longer is bound by needing to have a frontage road along Wildwood. And that's why the city does not, the staff and administration don't think that there's going to be any use now that we have secured. What was always the question was who owned Wildwood? Was it the city? Was it the state? And ends up it was KNA, Kenai Native Association. So I think now that the circumstances have changed, it's appropriate that this is no longer needed.
Okay, so my other question is when the original lot line does not include this section, right?
It, the original does not, it's an unnamed 60-foot right-of-way. However, whenever right-of-way is declared not needed for a public purpose, it reverts to an adjoining landowner. Normally, if this was I'll say a normal road, if, let's say we just vacated all of Wildwood Drive, it would be split down the middle and go to adjoining ones on both sides of the road. But since this one, the adjoining landowner is Wildwood Drive, it wouldn't revert to that. It would be pushed to the private landowner that's to the north.
So considering the comments and questions, would anybody like to revote? Can we get a motion to revote? If you want.
I'm not sure my opinion has changed at this point, but
Did you want me to make a motion and we just revote? Now that we've had an opportunity to have some additional discussion and clarity, anybody wants a second making an additional vote?
Second.
Thank you. Does anybody have any other comments they want to make before we vote? I should have asked. Okay. I just wanted to say, Alex, that I was still under the understanding that this was still in debate as to who the owner was. And since that's been cleared up, I don't think that, I don't think it's the same proposal as it was the last time. Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Thank you, Chair. Chair Keaton,
Yes.
Commissioner Ersley,
Yes.
Commissioner Fikes,
Yes.
Commissioner Askin.
No.
You have 3 yes votes and 1 no vote. PZ Resolution 2026-07 is approved.
You're welcome to join us again.
Thank you.
We have no public hearings tonight. G, unfinished business, we have no unfinished business tonight. New business, we have no new business tonight. This is gonna go quick. That brings us to reports. Planning Director Buettner, may we have your report, please?
Thank you, Chair Keaton. I'll keep it short and sweet. You may have noticed under item O, informational items, there is FAA Section 106 findings. It was addressed to both myself as planning director and to the commission as body as whole, so I figured that you guys should see it. But they're replacing the fence around the airport, and so anytime federal money, they have to do a whole environmental review, and part of that is historical, if there's any historical significance, which is Section 106. According to them, there'll be nothing that hasn't already been disturbed. It's a one-to-one replacement. So just want to let you know that that did come in, so that's why it's in there under informational items. As spring rolls around, we're getting a little bit busier, so we are, again, not going to have a meeting on the 8th of April, and then we're kind of getting a bonus week early because council moved their meeting to the 22nd, so we don't have one until April 29th. So hopefully, cross our fingers, breakup might be here, and we can actually start doing our spring activities.
Thank you. I have no report, but I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Commissioner Fikes, may we have your report, please?
All righty. We met on Monday and we had quite a few utility easement vacations. All of them were ultimately approved. The one that caused the most discussion was the one where the applicant had 3. If you're familiar with Power Sports, across the street is Trinity Church, and there was a small little structure that's like an 8-by-10 shed. And so there's consideration, is it in the right-of-way, is it not in the right-of-way? And then also they had a vacation for another utility shed further back on their property. And then they had a garage that was over. So this applicant didn't show up. This applicant had 3 different parcels at 3 different construction times. So it was ultimately approved, but then you have to go with the standards. You know, nobody complained. Was there any kind of right-of-way issue? No. They're widening the road, so there was talk about that. Would that impact the widening of the road? But they said they could circle back and visit that as DOT makes adjustments and changes. But it was just kind of disheartening. It just felt like a rubber stamp because this person just, but again, there's no zoning rules in the borough. And so you have to drive that message home, even though you might think otherwise. So again, it was a lesson in finding. So it was a good one. So ultimately, like I say, everything was approved. But like I say, what seems obvious and logical isn't always the case. So that was a takeaway.
Thank you. And is there anybody, oh, go ahead.
They were in executive session.
Yeah. Or is there anyone from the public wishing to comment, anybody online?
There's nobody online.
Okay, thank you. Next meeting is April 29, 2026. And is anyone planning to be absent or attending remotely? Marty? Okay.
April 8th.
Will this be a
Commissioner-
work session as well? Will this be a work session as well?
Very, very likely there will be one, but we have not scheduled that yet. But I'll send something to let the commission know.
Commissioner Woodard is absent tonight, and she was wondering if someone would make a motion to excuse her absence.
I will make a motion to excuse Commissioner Woodard's absence tonight.
Second.
And can I ask for unanimous consent? Are there any objections? Thank you. Unanimous consent. Motion passes. We have no pending items. Does anybody have any comments or questions or would like to speak briefly before we adjourn? Marty?
I'm just ready for spring. Go off the slope yesterday, it was 25 below.
Sonia? Sonia? Nothing? Commissioner Fikes?
All good.
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner Dotham.
All good, just as a reminder, when you're up here and you're going to say no or yes, be prepared to make sure you state findings so that when stuff gets contested, we have something for the council to contest and look at. So make sure to state those findings. All right, that's it.
Seeing no further business before